The farming community of Sandvlei in the Western Cape continues to grapple with the aftermath of weeks of heavy rainfall and strong winds that lashed that province. They say their livestock is still missing, with some having drowned in the floods. Newzroom Afrika's Nasiphi is following that story and joins us now for an update. Nasiphi, after weeks of really bad weather, it does look like the weather is going to be a little forgiving.
Well, Vuyo, as much as the weather is a little forgiving, the communities that are still waterlogged in the Western Cape are saying that they're not really feeling that reprieve that the Weather Service has indicated that, the rain, or rather forecasted rain, is about 30%. And just recently, the Western Cape government also gazetted that provincial state of disaster, as we know that over 160,000 people in the Western Cape have been severely impacted by this recent rain, following weeks and weeks of heavy downpours, including those gale force winds that saw a number of structures in various informal settlements, including Wynberg a couple of weeks ago, where their roofs blew off. But now in Sandvlei, a rural community here in Makassar under the city of Cape Town, indicating that they too are still feeling that impact, saying that as much as there has been reprieve in the recent days, they don't really see it much, taking into account that forecasted rain, or rather rain, is still forecasted and expected in the coming days. And to talk to us more about why we're standing where we're currently standing, I'm joined by Mark Baiki. He's a community leader here in the Sandvlei and Makassar community. So if you could just tell us, what we see behind us, but also the reason that brings us to this specific location in Sandvlei.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. The reason why we are here, that is where the two rivers are connected. The East River and the Kuils River are connected. When there's a flood, the problem starts here. The houses here at the back are overflooded with water. We actually asked the city of Cape Town for the past 5 years just to clean our rivers. If they just can start cleaning the river, the East River and the Kuils River, it will bring a huge relief for us. Because the rivers are overgrowing and there's islands in the river, and the river couldn't actually have its free flow. And that is the main problem that is here. For the past 28 years, there was non-maintenance on the river, and the city of Cape Town did do an impact study 25 years ago, and they said they're going to come back to us and they're going to start cleaning the river. But suddenly there was no budget, but there is a budget. There's in the budget available for us. So that is the problem that we are sitting here.
And these islands you speak of from the Kuils River are the ones that are immediately behind us and also near the animals. But Mark, you were saying that a couple of weeks ago, you've had to evacuate people, rather the houses and residents that are living right near the Kuils, or rather where the Kuils River meets the East River.
That's correct, yes. So we 2 weeks ago we have to evacuate people here because the owner did build houses in the middle of the floodline, in the middle of the Kuils River. We asked the city of Cape Town to start with the bylaws and actually took the owner to court that they didn't put people there. But every year the city of Cape Town is going to sit with this problem. We as a community have to face this problem every year, every winter, especially now with all the floods and all the water coming down. These vulnerable people are sitting there now and they're in a need for housing, but they need to do something for us. So that's a big problem for us.
The animals now, livestock, including the crops. We were at a place now where they are actually, holding their breath that it does not flood because they are waiting to harvest. But also the animals not too far from us, a number of these farmers and livestock farmers saying that they have lost quite a few of their stock.
Yeah, the problem is that this is the grain where the livestock are moving and they fed here from this graceland here. When the rivers came down and they are stuck here, we lost animals here, and the farmers around here did lost some animals. They lost some horses, they lost some cattle, and also some sheep around here. They are trapped. They have nowhere to go, and we need to take this because of the land. There's no more space for us to take your animals around. It is the only space that is available. If you go on the other side, it's in the mine. You can't go there. You go to the other side. It's private property. If you go to the other side of the sea, that in the nature reserve. Yeah. So we are actually we are very stressed. The farmers stay are very stressed. There's no grain land for them to feed the animals, and they have to bring in food, and they have to buy food just to feed it. And I mean, they live from this. That is what we do since 1694 when Sig Joseph arrived here. So this community are the oldest community here in Makassar Ward 109. Before even Somerset West was there, or Stein was there, this community, that is where Islam was established in 1694, and actually in Cape Town and the Western Cape and all of Africa.
Earlier on, we were speaking to a livestock farmer, Nazim, and he was indicating that, even the ground is waterlogged and the animals can't graze to a point where they have to cross the road. But what is needed as so far as this community is concerned, but also the livestock that is currently here?
What is needed right now, we needed animal feed for the animals. If there's people out there that can help the community of Sandvlei and also the farmers here, because it is the main cause now. We need feed for the animals, and that is something that is very, very scarce now at the moment because they can't feed because the land is too wet for them to go out. So if there's people out there, farmers that can help us, we are actually very, very grateful for Give of the Givers. Give of the Givers was the only organization that actually helped, but they can only stress this far.
We'll have to leave it there. Mark Bike is there. I'll just ask my colleague to show you the islands that Mark was speaking of now that have spilt over from the Kales River. As you can see further down, that is where the Kales River meets the Easter River and make their way all the way into the ocean. However, Mark is indicating that year on year, these houses that are not too far from us find themselves in a ditch when we are seeing these territorial rains raining non-stop, and they find themselves having flooded, but also having to evacuate some of these communities, and calling on the city of Cape Town to perhaps intervene and speak to the owner of that property in having people rent there, but also calling on the city to clean the river, to allow it to flow when we do experience heavy downpours as we've seen in the recent weeks.
Nasiphi Same with that update there. That community really going through a lot at the moment.